Hello! I'm Dave.
And I'm Sarah, and here's a big welcome to Bible Podlets.
Bible Podlets is a podcast where children and adults can read and talk about the Bible together and have some fun along the way.
So we invite you, our Bible Podleteers, to join us as we explore part of the Bible together today.
Now, our regular listeners will know by now that we always start each episode of Bible Podlets with a game.
Absolutely. And I think this game is going to be great fun. It's called Strive for 5.
Strive for 5 is a game all about the number 5. Players are given 5 categories and they have to name 5 different things under each category in just 5 seconds. No, it's not 5 seconds, it's 30 seconds.
Whew, we're still going to have to think fast.
That's right, and the important thing is to keep going until the time is up.
Let's have a go. Would you like to go first, Dave?
Oh, go on then. Hopefully our Podleteers will play along by shouting their answers out with me as well.
Okay, your time starts when I've told you the first category.
Okay, I'm ready.
Star Wars characters.
Chewbacca, Han Solo, Luke Skywalker, R2-D2, C-3PO, BB-8.
Chocolate bars.
Mars, Snickers, Twix, Milky Way, Kit Kat.
Footwear.
Shoes, sandals, boots, wellies, flip-flops.
Board games.
Scrabble, Monopoly. Oh dear.
Oh, your time is up. You managed to keep going though, and I think you got 3 lots of 5.
Gosh, that's a lot tougher than you think it is when the clock is ticking away in the background. How did you get on playing along, Podleteers? Right, I think it's your turn now, Sarah.
Great. Let's strive for 5.
Are you ready? Things that are sticky.
Jam, glue, sellotape, post-it notes, syrup.
Football teams.
Manchester United, Arsenal, Chelsea, Blackburn, Burnley.
Trees.
Oak, sycamore, willow, apple, beech.
School subjects.
English, maths, geography, history, art.
Party food.
Sandwiches, crisps, sausages, cheese, biscuits.
Oh, very good. You did it all in 30 seconds. You did all 5. Well done.
You were right, Dave, though. I did have to concentrate really hard and be persistent to keep going until the end of the game.
Well, it's funny you mention the word persistent because today's story is about someone who prayed persistently and something incredible happened.
Oh, really? Let's find out what it was.
Welcome back to our live coverage of the Mount Carmel Showdown. I'm Zara Flame, and joining me in the studio is our Miracle Match pundit, Regina Raincloud.
What a contest. Zara, if you're just tuning in, you missed a firestorm, literally.
That's right, Regina. It was Prophet Elijah versus the prophets of Baal in a fiery face-off. The challenge? Whose God could light the sacrifice on fire without a match?
The prophets of Baal danced, shouted, even did a conga line. Nothing. But when Elijah stepped up, he soaked the altar with water and still fire came down from heaven. Boom! It cooked that sacrifice up so much, even my dad couldn't claim the charred earth was just extra flavour.
Ha! Right you are, Regina. Elijah's God made it clear who's the real deal. But that's not all. After 3 years of no rain, Elijah says it's about to pour. We've sent our reporter, Cassie Cloudwatcher, to Mount Carmel to get the scoop.
Thanks, Zara. I'm here on Mount Carmel trying to catch up with Elijah. But so far, no luck.
Getting those steps in then, Cassie.
Yeah. Thanks, Regina. Hang on a second. I think I've found someone who just might help. Hey, excuse me. This is What's your name?
Just servant. I don't get a name. I just get instructions.
We were hoping to talk with Elijah.
He's busy.
Doing what?
Well, he says he's praying, but that's all that's happening up here, is me walking back and forth. Elijah keeps telling me, go look towards the sea. So I go, I look, nothing. I come back, he prays some more. Go again, he says. 6 times now. 6.
Well, gotta get those steps in, right?
Yeah, thanks. I've done more walking today than a camel in a marathon. And guess what I've seen each time? Blue sky, blue sea, blue nothing.
Servant, go look again.
Again? This is the 7th time now. If I don't see anything, I'm turning into a cactus and staying up here forever. Wait. I see something. A cloud. It's tiny, like the size of a man's hand. But it's there. A cloud. I've got to tell Elijah.
You heard it here first, folks. After 3 years of dry skies, there's finally a cloud. Elijah was right. Rain is coming. Well, I'd better get off this mountain before it turns to a mudslide. Zara and Regina, dust off those umbrellas. Rain is on the way.
Thanks, Cassie. That's all from us and our coverage of the Mount Carmel Showdown. We'll see you next time, and from everyone in the studio, stay dry.
Before we carry on with the rest of the episode, we just wanted to say a massive thank you to you for supporting the podcast. Really means so much to us.
It does. And the best way of supporting a podcast is by telling other people about it. So thank you for tagging us on Facebook and Instagram at Blackburn Board of Education and using the Bible Podlets hashtag to share your thoughts about our podcast.
Of course, we thank you for nagging your adults to post on your behalf. Great job, Podleteers.
Ha! Yes, excellent work, adults. Oh, and adults, if you go and check the description of this episode, you'll find a link that takes you to our website where we have a free downloadable booklet which has some extra activities for your children to do alongside this very episode.
That's right, Sarah, and one of those will be the prayer activity that we will do together towards the end of this episode. So make sure you pause and go and click on the link in the description to download the booklet completely free of charge.
Wonderful. Right, I think it's time to carry on, Dave.
Let's go!
We've reached the part of our podcast where we think about what we've heard so far and talk about it together.
To help us to do that, Sarah and I will ask some questions as we go along, and we encourage you to press pause on the podcast if you can, so you can answer the questions together. You can do this for as long or as short as you'd like.
Absolutely. And after you're finished talking together, you can press play again. Today we're looking at the very amazing story from the life of Elijah, where he challenged some prophets to a contest. If you want to find this story in your Bible to read as we go along, you can find it in 1 Kings chapter 18.
But before we go any further, I think it would be a good idea to set the scene. In our story, we have 2 main characters, the prophet Elijah and King Ahab. Now, Elijah's job as a prophet was to speak to people and even whole nations on behalf of God. He was God's mouthpiece, and that's a lot of responsibility.
It is for sure, Dave. But King Ahab had a lot of responsibility too. It was his job to lead the people of Israel and to obey God. But he wasn't doing that very well at all. In 1 Kings chapter 16, verses 30 to 33, it says that Ahab did more evil in the eyes of God than any of the kings who came before him.
So, because Ahab was such a bad king, God sent Elijah to go and talk to him. And we can read what he said in chapter 17, verse 1. Elijah said that as punishment for being so bad, there would no longer be any rain until he said there would be.
No rain at all? Oh my, that is very severe. How long was this for, Dave?
That's a very good question, and one I think our Bible Podlets should answer. So let's stop here and ask our first question for today. If you need help, you can find the answer you need in 1 Kings chapter 18. So we heard that there would be no rain. So we're asking, how long was there no rain for? And what do you think it would be like to have no rain for that long? The questions again. How long was there no rain for? And what do you think it would be like with no rain for that long? Please pause the podcast and talk about this together. Then press play when you're ready to carry on. Did you manage to find out the answer? How many years was there no rain for in Israel? Let's shout it out together in 3, 2, 1. 3! A big well done if you got that right.
3 whole years. Wow, that is a long time, isn't it? Well, that must mean no showers, so a lot of stinky pits. Ooh.
Oh yeah, and I think the ground would have been super hard. If you fell over, it would have hurt a lot, and that wouldn't be good for growing food either.
And with a lack of food, everyone would have been tired. Not just because of the sun being so hot, but because they weren't eating right and the animals would be suffering as well.
And with everyone struggling and feeling weak, I bet there were probably a lot of people who fell ill or maybe even died. I think if things were like that for 3 years, Ahab would have been feeling bad. And you think he would turn back to God, right? He did turn back to God, didn't he, Sarah?
Well, no, he didn't. Instead of turning back to God, Ahab was angry with Elijah. In fact, he was so angry that he gave the order for all of God's prophets to be killed. But he could never find Elijah. That was until Elijah challenged Ahab to a contest. Whose God can light a fire first?
It seems like a strange contest, if I'm honest. I don't see it being an Olympic sport anytime soon, but I am hooked.
Elijah climbed up a hill and gathered 2 piles of wood, one for him and one for Ahab. Ahab then gathered his own prophets, who worshipped a false god called Baal, to do all of the praying.
Ah, yes, I remember now. Ahab's prophets spent a whole day chanting, shouting and running around, asking Baal to answer their prayers and to set their wood on fire. But nothing happened.
That's right. But when it was Elijah's turn to pray, he made it harder for himself by pouring loads of water on his wood so that it was soaking wet.
Wait, hang on a second. You can't set wet wood on fire. I've tried. It's just, impossible. It looks like Elijah's going to lose here.
You would think that. And I'm sure Ahab did as well. But Elijah had faith in God, and sure enough, as Elijah prayed, God sent down an almighty fire that burnt up all of the wood in an instant.
Wow, that is amazing! I think it's time for our next question. Are you ready? What was the point of the contest between Elijah and the prophets of Baal? The question again, what was the point of the contest between Elijah and the prophets of Baal? Please pause the podcast and talk about this together. Then press play when you're ready to continue.
The point of the contest was for Elijah to show Ahab and everyone in the kingdom that Elijah's God, the God of Israel, and the one the king had turned away from, was the one true God. Baal had no power at all, and God wanted to remind Israel of this because they'd been led away from him by Ahab.
After the contest ended, everyone there worshipped God, and the prophets of Baal were taken care of. Elijah then told Ahab that rain was on the way, so he went further up the mountain to pray for it to come.
Elijah knelt down and started to pray for rain. After he prayed, he sent his servant to go and look out to see if they could see the rain coming. But after the first time, the servant came back and said that they couldn't see any rain.
Elijah then kept praying, and kept sending his servant to check for rain. 6 times, and still nothing. That would feel a little frustrating, wouldn't it?
Well, it would to us perhaps, but that didn't stop Elijah, did it? He prayed a 7th time and sent his servant to check again. But this time the servant came back with the news that a cloud was forming, so the rain was on its way. Elijah's prayers were answered.
Ah, that's great news. And I think it's time for our last question for today. Why did Elijah keep praying for rain, even though God showed everyone that he was in control? The question again, why do you think Elijah kept praying for rain, even though God showed everyone he was in control? Please pause the podcast and talk about this together, then press play when you're ready to carry on.
I wonder what ideas you came up with, Podleteers. Even though God had showed his power in the contest, and Elijah knew that God would send rain, he had to pray 7 times for even a small cloud to form.
Elijah knew that it was God's will to bring back the rain, because it would prove beyond any doubt that the God he worshipped was the one true God. So, Elijah kept praying again and again for God's will to be done, even though nothing appeared to be happening.
Oh, now that sounds familiar, doesn't it? Elijah was praying for God's will to be done. Now, can anyone remember where we've heard that before?
I'm sure our Podleteers are piecing it together, Sarah. In our first episode of this series about prayer, we looked at the Lord's Prayer, the one that Jesus taught us. Elijah shows us what prayer is like when we ask for God's will to be done. And he was really persistent with it, wasn't he?
Hang on, Dave. We've got a big word alert going off. What is persistence?
Persistence is doing the same thing over and over again. And being persistent is also something in the Bible that is spoken about over and over again. And we're going to look at being persistent again in our prayer activity coming next. Today's prayer activity is going to show us how we can be persistent in our prayers.
That's right, Dave. And we're going to do this by playing a game of Snakes and Ladders. If you check out the downloadable activity sheet that goes with this episode, you'll find a printable version of the game, or you could use your own Snakes and Ladders game if you have one at home. Or, if you're feeling creative, you could draw your own.
Before you start to play your game of Snakes and Ladders, you need to think of something you want to pray for.
Then, as you play, every time you land on a snake or a ladder, you must pray about the thing that you've thought of.
Now, if I know Snakes and Ladders, we're going to be doing lots of praying.
You're probably right, Dave. When you finally get to the finished square on the board, you can say a final prayer, thanking God that he listens to all of our prayers and reassures us that he will answer them.
Hopefully, you'll find that this is a great way to practice persistent prayer. Sometimes when we are praying for something, it feels like we're not really getting anywhere. Like when we end up on a snake in Snakes and Ladders. But if we are persistent and trust that God knows what is best for us, God will answer our prayers when it fits in with his timing. I have to say, I have really enjoyed spending time with you, our Bible Podlets, today as we dived into the Bible. Well, and of course you as well, Sarah.
Aw, thanks, Dave. Yes, I've really enjoyed it too. And it's sad that we've come to the end of this episode, isn't it?
It is, but don't worry, we still have some more episodes to go in our series all about prayer.
We do indeed. Next time, we will be exploring a story where someone prayed to God for healing.
Oh, that is exciting. In the meantime, don't forget to follow the link in the podcast description to download the free activity booklet so you have access to the Snakes and Ladders board for our prayer activity today and some more activities to help you think about what we've heard in this episode.
And we would love to see and hear from you and your adult through social media by using the Bible Podlets hashtag or by tagging us on Facebook or Instagram at Blackburn Board of Education.
That's all we have time for today.
So until next time, Bye.
Thanks for listening to Bible Podlets. It was a Blackburn Diocesan Board of Education production.
The episode was written, voiced and produced by David Harris and Sarah Earnshaw, with additional voices from Lindsay Wright, Heather Lee, Kim Kerr, Christy Sawyer and Sam Lee.
Bible Podlets is a free resource, and to find even more resources for children's work, connect with us on Facebook and Instagram at Blackburn Board of Education, or you can visit our website bdeducation.org.uk.
You may also be interested in our sister podcast called Follow the Sun, spelt S-O-N. It is a morning and bedtime Bible story podcast for younger children aged 3 to 7, and it's available in all the same places that you'll find Bible Podlets.